Hello hustlers, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to delve into Wise, formerly known as TransferWise, which is a service that allows you to send money abroad easily, quickly and most importantly at a very low cost. I'll be covering how Wise works, their fees, speed and security, and what else they can offer other than just money transfers. I'm then going to show you how to create an account and carry out an international money transfer using a real step-by-step example while sharing my screen with you. Moving over from using PayPal to Wise was genuinely one of the best decisions I think I've made to date. Not only are their fees a lot lower, but there's no middleman to hold your money or muddle the process of trying to pay a friend or a supplier. I know not everyone will be keen on understanding how Wise actually works, so if you want to skip certain parts where I explain how it works and you want to get straight to the part where I show you how to create an account and carry out a transfer, then feel free to hover over the video's progress bar and forward the video to the part you're looking for, or even go to the video's description and click the timestamp which says create account. As a heads up, if this is the first time you've used Wise, then feel free to use the Wise link in the video's description or my pinned comment in the comment section, which will give you your first free money transfer. Now, how does Wise work? Wise have figured out a way of sending money abroad for a fraction of the cost of traditional banks and other services such as PayPal. I'm myself in the UK and constantly send money abroad for business purposes and sometimes to friends, mostly in the US and sometimes to China. Let's use me as an example. If I have a $1,000 invoice to pay someone in the US, Wise uses a live exchange rate which you see on Google. So for my supplier or friend I'm sending money to receive $1,000, I would only need to send £760, whereas if I make that same transfer using PayPal, I would need to send £800, meaning I need to send more money just to make the same payment. The reason being because my bank and PayPal not only charge a higher transfer fee, but they also make money on the exchange rate. PayPal not only charges you a percentage of the transfer, but they also give you a terrible exchange rate, which ends up costing, as we said, 4% more than Wise does. Now, this doesn't sound like a lot initially, but if you compare the two and pay out, say, just £1,000 a month, then you end up saving about £500 a year, which could have easily gone into investments and growth, in which case, over multiple years, the cost compounds and increases exponentially. Even if they advertise zero fees or no commission, you still end up paying more because they don't actually allow you to utilize that mid-market value, the live exchange rate that you see on Google. If you're wondering how they manage to do this, and it's because Wise has bank accounts in over 50 countries across the globe and holds a significant amount of money in each of those countries. Now let's use a new example of making a payment of £1,000 to a supplier in the US who has a US bank account. If I use the conventional method of using my bank, they would firstly convert the money at a poor exchange rate and charge you for converting it. Wise, on the other hand, have come up with a smarter way of doing things which avoids actually sending money across borders. For example, when sending money from the UK to someone in the US, you simply transfer Wise the total amount you wish to send in your local currency. So I would send Wise £1,000 from my UK bank account into Wise's UK bank account. Once they receive that money, which only takes a couple of seconds, they then calculate how many dollars that would be using the mid-market currency, which is essentially the live exchange rate you see on Google. So at this moment in time, it will be $1,340. And then they send that amount of money from their US bank account to the US bank account of your recipient. So they don't actually convert money into another currency. They're not sending the money from the UK to the US. They're simply receiving the money into their UK bank account and then they're sending the money out from their US bank account. I don't know how it's taken anyone this long to figure this out. It's an absolutely brilliant idea, but this is essentially how TransferWise, aka Wise, can afford such low fees and the mid-market value, aka the live exchange rate you see on Google. Just to give you another quick example, if you wanted to send that money to someone in, say, the Philippines, for example, they would calculate how many Philippine pesos you would get for that £1,000 and use their bank account, Wise's bank account in the Philippines, to send money to the recipient with the Philippine bank account. This now prepares us for our next question. Depending on where you're sending money to in the world, it usually takes somewhere between 1 and 3 days for your recipients to actually receive the money. But also bear in mind, the longer estimate of 3 days is used when transferring money to someone for the first time, but it tends to get quicker once you've established that payee in your Wise account. The other thing to note, which is a feature I absolutely love, is the fact that you can sign into your Wise account and get an estimated time of delivery in your Wise account to your recipient. So you can actually more or less track the whole process and see when your recipient has received that money, instead of being left in the dark, which you are in most scenarios when sending money abroad when you're not using TransferWise. Now, this is truly speaking from experience. These guys are great at answering questions and helping their customers. I personally called them last week to integrate my Amazon account with Wise, and they explained the whole process. And once I got off the phone with them, they also sent over some simple paper instructions. I haven't used services like PayPal for a very long time, but funnily enough, I can still remember how stressful it was trying to get through to them, let alone with actually dealing with PayPal issues over customer service. So if you're comparing the two together, there's absolutely no comparison to be made. TransferWise walks all over them. The Wise limits are quite high. They're around £200,000 or equivalent of per day. So I'm sure the majority of us won't have any issues, but for those who need to send more than that, the limit can be increased by carrying out a number of transactions within the limit and then contacting Wise themselves. Sending money is super easy, and I'm going to walk you through exactly how to do this in just a minute. Once your account is up and running, and similarly to a normal bank transfer, you start off by telling Wise where the account is, where the money is going. In other words, you're creating a payee. You then pay for the transfer by sending the money to TransferWise in your local currency. And luckily for you, there's plenty of options. You can either use a debit or credit card, you can send a local bank transfer, or even link it to your bank account to automate the whole process. Once you've linked it to your bank account, you don't need to manually send TransferWise the money from your bank account. They'll just take it out once you create the payment on the Wise platform. Either way you choose, the great thing is their details never change. So even if you choose a manual way, once you've sent money to TransferWise once, it then almost takes no time to do so again in the future. I can also honestly say that I've never had an issue with money going missing or any other problems over the past 4 to 5 years I've been using Wise, and I've probably completed over 1,000 transfers. Once I actually sent money to the wrong details, and within 3 days the money was refunded straight back into my bank account. All I had to do to get the money back from Wise was actually nothing, but because I was so paranoid about the whole thing, I called them up and they told me that it was already being dealt with and the money was going to be in my account in a few days. Hey guys, I just want to pause for a second there and say, if you're finding the video helpful, then make sure to press that like button. If you want to stay tuned with more videos like this, then hit that subscribe button and also hit the bell button so you get notified when I release more videos like this. But most importantly, if you have any questions, then feel free to drop them in the comment section below and I'll get answering as soon as I can, which is usually within a day or two. There are a number of ways you can use TransferWise, and creating a business bank account is certainly an option. TransferWise holds any cash with Barclays, so they're not actually holding your money themselves. So if you're worried about whether your cash is safe, then yes, 100% it is. By creating a business bank account, you can hold money with them and with a single click, effortlessly pay international invoices, vendors and employees with the real exchange rate, the one that you see on Google. They operate in up to 80 countries. They're 6 times cheaper than old school banks, and they're 19 times cheaper than PayPal. You can also get paid a lot faster with Wise Business. You can get local bank details for 10 different currencies, give them to your customers for an easy, free way to get paid, and 50% of payments are instant or arrive within an hour. Other big benefit of using the Wise Business account is the fact that you can assign different users access and set various permissions to take some of the weight off your shoulders as a business owner. No more back and forth over paying bills and managing expenses and cash flow. Give your accountant and team access to Wise and control their permissions. It's as simple as that. You can also make batch payments, meaning you can pay up to 1,000 people with a single click by uploading a spreadsheet to your Wise platform. The difference between a personal and business account is that you can connect to your accounting software, manage employee expenses, and give your employees or your accountant access and more. Registering for a business account is free. You don't need to have any cash reserves and usually takes around 2 to 3 business days, so you can get it set up in pretty much no time. It more or less takes the same amount of time that it takes to create a business bank account with a high street bank. Now, how safe is Wise Business? In keeping with FCA regulations, Wise uses 2 approaches to safeguard your funds. They deposit your funds at banking institutions and invest them in government-backed liquid assets, primarily government bonds. So your cash is pretty much as safe as it could be. Can you use Wise for personal transfers? Yes, you can. Wise isn't just for business transfers. You can use Wise for personal transfers and it works in the exact same way. What else can you use Wise for? Firstly, Amazon. If you sell on multiple Amazon marketplaces, then you might have realized that receiving a currency which is different to your home currency is costing you money, a lot of unnecessary money. You can, however, withdraw multiple different currencies directly into your Wise account, so you'll avoid paying any currency conversion fees whatsoever, meaning you'll get back every single penny that you generate in your Amazon account. I'll use a real life example here. So you can see on the 7th of December, Amazon had sent me this particular payment from the Italian marketplace for €9,101.51. You can also check the live exchange rate on the 7th of December from euro to pounds, which was pretty much exactly 0.85. So if we multiply €9,101.51 by 0.85, then I should have received £7,736 into my bank account. Yet you can now see from my bank account that I only received £7,641.41, so almost £100 less. Now that doesn't sound like a lot, but Amazon release money every 2 weeks. So over the course of the year, you would receive 26 payments, meaning that I was losing £95 times 26, which is £2,470 just on conversion fees, which I'm now saving by making the simple decision of using Wise. And don't forget, this is just for one marketplace. I'm actually saving over £10,000 per year over all of the marketplaces by again making that simple decision of using Wise. And you guys can do the exact same thing. All it is collecting money into your Wise account for currencies which are different to your local currency. Wise account details are compatible with Amazon US, Amazon Europe, Amazon UK, and Amazon Australia. Once you've created an account with Wise, it's super easy to start using it with Amazon, and there is a simple step-by-step instruction on the Wise website. It took me a grand total of 10 minutes to save £10,000 a year. Mind blown. Another amazing service that Wise offers is their borderless account, which comes with a debit card. It lets you spend money anywhere in the world at the real exchange rate. You'll get low conversion fees and 0 transaction fees. It's completely free to pay with currencies in your account. You get 2 free ATM withdrawals up to £200 a month, then a very small withdrawal fee. You only pay a small conversion fee when you convert your money, typically between 0.35 and 1%, and you can automatically convert your money at the real exchange rate. It's so quick and easy to get a borderless account and debit card, you won't believe it. It's completely free to create an account with Wise, and more importantly, your recipient doesn't need to use Wise for you to send them money, since the money you're sending them is going directly into their account and not their Wise account. So it's not like PayPal where both sender and receiver needs to have a PayPal account. When making an account, you can sign up as an individual, and if you have a business, you can add your business to your TransferWise account, so you can have both of them under one portal. You can also use desktop, mobile, and their award-winning app on both Android and iOS. I hope that answers any questions you may have. Now let's kick off the tutorial by starting with how to create an account. Let's assume you've used the link in the video's description or the link I've pinned as a comment in the comment section, then you should be seeing this screen here. So to set up an account, we first want to choose the type of account. And you have an option up here on the top left between personal and business. If you do go for the business account, then I still advise you to create a personal account too, which can easily be done after finishing your business account. I think most of you will be creating an account for business purposes, so let's use that as an example in our tutorial. Once we get to this page, we simply want to click register in the top right hand corner, and let's enter an email for the account. Now this is going to be your sign-in email, and since you're using this account for business purposes, then I highly recommend you use a business email as opposed to your personal email here. Once we've done that, we can just click next, and if you've already got a business account set up with Google, Facebook or Apple, then feel free to click one of these links down here. And if not, then you can go down the normal route and just type in your business email here and click next. Once you get to this page, it's asking you to confirm what type of account you want to register out of personal and business. As we said, we're going for business, we'll click on this, but do note that it says up here you can add another account later too, which will be the personal account. For now, let's crack on with clicking on business. You just want to select your country of registration. So if you've registered a business in the UK, then that's what we'll be cracking on with. And here we just want to verify a phone number. It's going to send us a code. Again, if you're using a business number, then I recommend you put that in there. However, if you don't really carry your business phone around with you as much and you will be signing into Wise quite often, then you can either use your personal number or another number which you have on you most of the time. Just remember, we've got the +44 here, so you don't actually need to type in a 0 here, otherwise it most likely won't work. So now I'm just waiting for this 6-digit code to come through. And if you haven't received the code, then feel free to click on this link below, which is I didn't receive a code. And that'll either resend you another code by message, or it will call you up and give you a code over the phone. Once we've entered that code in, it's just going to ask you to create a password here. So if you've gone for the business account, it's going to try and verify your business and some more information. So we'll start off with the company name or company number. I'll do the company name. Just make sure you confirm the correct details. I can see that's the registered office. So I'll continue here. And then it just wants you to confirm your trading address. So category. Do you have a website or social media profile? No. What's the size of your business? Just me for now. As you can see, it's a simple step-by-step process. You just need to fill in your details. So now it's asking us, what do we want to do next? We can either finish the account setup or we can send some money. Obviously, do whatever applies to your current situation. I'm going to click on send money because I want to show you guys exactly how to create that international money transfer whilst I'm sharing my screen with you. Now, this is more or less the exact same setup as you would get on your personal account. So don't worry if you haven't selected business and you've selected personal, this is still going to be the exact same process that you'll need to go through to send money to someone. Initially, what you want to do is select the currency that you're going to be sending money in. So this will be your local currency, the currency that your business bank holds. And this is going to be the currency that you want your recipient to receive. For example, if you're buying products from the US or China, you're most likely going to be paying out dollars. So this means you're going to send Wise £100 and your recipient is going to be receiving $132.37. Of course, if you're sending money to a supplier or a friend, you're going to be deciding how much you want them to receive. So you never actually really fill this box in first. You always fill in what the recipient gets. So for this example, I'm going to say I'm sending $100. That's going to cost me £75.63. So this has given us an exchange rate of 1.33710. Now, I just want to Google this and show you that this is the exact mid-market exchange rate, which is the same as the live exchange rate you see on Google. Okay, so I've Googled GBP to USD. It's rounded it up to 1.34. But if you look at the graph, we're looking for 1.337. There's 1.33 and there's 1.34. And that's about 70% of the way up. So there you go. Now we've verified the fact that Wise does actually give us the live exchange rate available on the market. So we'll click continue here. And now this is asking us who we're sending the money to. So is it to your own business, to someone else, or to a business or charity? For this example, I'm sending £100 to a supplier, so I'm going to click on business or charity. Once you get to this page, I highly recommend you scroll to the bottom first before you do anything and select the country of your recipient. I'm saying this because the country of your recipient changes the details that Wise asks for. So as opposed to filling out the details first and then choosing the country, which might add on or take away information you've already submitted, I would just recommend you choose the country first. In our case, it's the United States. And then we can crack on with filling out all of the necessary details. Here it asks you whether you want to send to a local bank or SWIFT. If you click on SWIFT, you can see it says to send USD outside the US, we need to use SWIFT. For example, if you're sending money to a supplier in China, who are of course outside of the US, but they still want to be paid in USD, US dollars, then you will need to select this method here, in which case it asks you for their SWIFT, aka bit code, and their IBAN number, as well as the full name of the account holder. In our case, we're going to be selecting local bank account, so we can carry on with filling out these details. What's the purpose? In my case, it's paying for goods and services abroad. And if you've selected that business option as we did at the start, then Wise will be confirming our details with Company's House. So we just want to confirm our full name, date of birth, and our country of residence. If there's another director for the business, then please do remember to add another director. In my case, there's not, so I won't be needing that. Confirm your business owners. So this is essentially who the shareholders are in the business. So it says up here, please confirm these details from Company's House. If anyone else controls more than 25% of the business, add them below. Again, in my case, I'm the sole shareholder in the business. So I'll be selecting continue here. So here it asks us for a reference. If you're paying an invoice, I highly recommend you enter the invoice number here. So when it comes to doing your tax returns, you can quite easily itemize the payments and match it up with your bank statements. Now, Wise gives us all of these options to choose for a transfer type. We've got debit and credit card here, which costs £0.84 in total fees. You've also got the lowest transfer costs, which are when transferring the money directly from your bank account into Wise's bank account. And you've also got an advanced transfer here, which is a SWIFT transfer. I personally always choose the lowest cost transfer of transferring the money directly from your bank account, just because it's quite easy. I've also found that it's slightly quicker And when you're sending a significant amount of money, these fees up here tend to add up slightly more. I mean, you can see it's only 20p more, but I always have the mindset of why not save money when you can? So I'll be selecting this option down here. If you do select one of these options up here, debit card or credit card, it's just going to ask you to enter those card details once and you won't have to keep doing it. In this case, I'll be selecting transferring money from your bank account. So if I continue to payment, you can scroll through the list and find your bank. If it's not listed, then you can always select all other banks. In my case, it is, which is Lloyds. So now it's asking us whether we either want to pair up our Lloyds account with Wise, and essentially it will redirect you to the Lloyds website. You'll enter in your login details, and do note that your bank will not share your login details with Wise or anyone else. You'll simply enter your bank details in, log into your online banking and send the payment that way, or you can select pay manually instead. So once you get to this page, it gives you simple instructions of going to your online banking and making the payment. You can also see that Wise is saying if they receive your money by Friday at 6:15 p.m, they will guarantee the rate of 1.33735, which is the live exchange rate. So you have 24 hours to make the payment before that rate changes. And they'll offer that every single time you make a payment, 24 hours before updating it to the new live exchange rate. If we scroll down here, you can see they're essentially confirming the payment details. So the payee name is who's sending the money. Under where it says amount to send is what you need to send to Wise's bank account. Because we've selected to send the money in pounds, it's given us the UK Wise account number and sort code. And this is also the reference that you need to use when making your payment. You have to be very careful with this number, as this is the payment reference that Wise uses to match up your payment with the payment that you want to send to your recipient. So what I want to do now is log into my online banking, and I'm going to send £75.38 to the UK sort code of 231470 and Wise's account number of 7290945, and also enter in this reference number. As soon as I do that, Wise is going to notify me that they've received the payment, and they're going to start sending that payment to my recipient. You don't have to send the payment straight away. You can always select, I'll transfer my money later, but bear in mind that that will be delaying your payment. So without even leaving this page, I'm going to log into my online banking. I'm going to send the £75.38. And as soon as I've hit send, I'm going to press, I've made my bank transfer. At this point, I've transferred my money from my bank to the TransferWise details, which are listed here. Using this reference, now I'm going to select, I've made my bank transfer. So instantly you can see that at 6:43 p.m, we've set up the transfer. At 6:44 p.m, so just a minute later, they'd received that money I sent. And this is what I absolutely love about Wise, is this functionality down here. It gives you an estimated time that your recipient's going to receive that money. And another brilliant function is the fact that you can prove you sent this money. Say if you're sending money to a supplier and they're not willing to send the products to you until they know you've sent the money, then you can always click this button down here, share with recipient, and that will just simply give you a link that you can send to your supplier. Once they've copied that link into Google, they'll be able to track the payment also. And for whatever reason, if you need to cancel that transfer, then feel free to click this cancel transfer button here, and then it will either give you the option of sending this £75.40 directly back into your bank account, or adding it to your Wise balance. So let's try that. Here we go. Where would you like us to refund the money? To an existing account or a new account? Let's go for an existing account. I'm going to select the business account that I use to pay for this. And I'm going to cancel that transfer. So it was as simple as that. It now says that the refund usually takes between 3 and 5 days. So if you get to the very end and you happen to make any mistakes, then feel free to cancel that transfer and redo it. I hope you guys end up saving a ton of money by using this brilliant service, and I also hope you found the video helpful. If you did find the video helpful, then make sure you hit that like button. And if you want to stay in tune with more content, then please subscribe to my channel and hit that bell button so you can be notified when I release more videos like this. And most importantly, if you have any questions, drop them in the comment section below and I'll get answering as soon as I can. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. For now, be good, and if you can't be good, be careful.